Hey, what's up, hikers? This summer I'll be hiking the John Muir Trail for the second time. Here are 4 things I hope to do differently this time around. Plus, I'll talk about 3 big question marks around the trail this year that are out of hikers' control. The first thing that I hope to do differently in 2024 is to camp at Evolution Lake. I passed this lake in the early morning and found it to be incredibly beautiful. I was planning on camping there the night before, but I had afternoon thunderstorms and was concerned about being above tree line. At the time, I checked the weather forecast on my Garmin and there was a 0% chance of rain. I knew about the afternoon thunderstorms in the Sierra, but I didn't know what to expect going into the evening. So even though it was still early in the afternoon, I played it safe and set up camp in the trees just a little bit short of Evolution Lake. Sure enough, things cleared up for sunset and it would have been an absolutely incredible evening up there. Just as I'm getting pretty much everything set up, the sun is coming back out. So the second thing I hope to do differently this year is very similar to my first. Since I camped short of Evolution Lake, I also ended up camping short of Palisade Lakes. I camped right at the bottom of the Golden Staircase, and I wish I pushed down to Palisade Lakes to camp. On my previous hike in 2022, I planned more based around mileage. While that will still be a factor in my upcoming hike, I'll plan more based around the lakes. So that may mean 15 miles one day and 25 the next. I will add that the lakes can be more crowded. You can always find secluded areas on the trail if you wish. It's just less likely at the popular lakes. For me, after hiking alone all day, I really enjoy the company of others at camp. The third thing that I hope to do differently, which may be easier said than done, is to worry less. I wanted to complete the trail so bad I was always worried about random things like gear failure or injury. This would go away oftentimes at some of the more amazing places, but it was a theme during most days. It wasn't until a mile or two before the summit of Mount Whitney where I finally accepted that I was going to complete the entire trail. Starting to come to the realization that I might actually complete this trail. The truth is that worrying about completing the hike isn't going to be of any benefit to actually making it happen. This year I hope to just relax and enjoy every single day. The fourth and final thing I hope to change this year is to stay up late one night. So much of the trail is obviously hiking and setting up and breaking down camp. While there are still moments where time moves slow, I would like to try to slow it down even more to really enjoy and cherish the experience. Plus, I would like to see the night sky that I usually miss because I'm sleeping in my tent. So I'd like to take a night where I stay up late, just laying out with my sleeping bag to watch the stars, to try to slow down time and enjoy it as much as possible. This would probably be towards the end of my trip, where I know I'm adjusted to the time and in good shape to complete the trail. It seems like it would be a good way to cherish those last few days. There's always the sunrise hike up to Mount Whitney, which I did on my previous hike and plan to do again, but that was mostly spent hiking, and I want to use this opportunity to just be still. Other than that, there was nothing as far as my gear, my resupply, or my hiking timeline that I would do differently. Obviously, I wish I could have spent more time out there, but I spent the maximum time I could, and the fact that I was able to hike the entire trail and enjoy it all is something I wouldn't change. I did make videos from my previous hike that includes my gear, planning, and daily videos from my hike. I plan on doing it again for this hike because there have been a few changes and upgrades. There are 3 big potential changes out of my control this year that could impact my hike. It's still March, so there aren't any answers yet whether these things will be available. The first is the Tuolumne Meadows store and post office. From what I understand, the store and the post office were essentially destroyed in 2023 from the historic snow year. So there's no word yet if these are going to be rebuilt and available in any form for 2024. This was a great stop on the trail to get a cold drink and a snack while also picking up a resupply. The post office there doesn't charge any extra fees outside of postage, so it's a relatively cheap resupply option and saves you a lot of weight climbing out of the valley. The second question is whether Reds Meadow will be operating on their normal schedule this year. The latest news is that the road will be under construction for the summer, so access to Reds Meadow will only be available over the weekend. I don't know what that means for the regular business operations and if they'll still be open during the week. In 2022, I just used this as a stop to get some fresh food and cold drinks and camped at the nearby campground for the night. The campground will be closed this year to the general public, but there is word that the backpacker campsite may still be available for backpackers. The third question is, I think, the biggest one on everybody's mind who's doing the trail this year, and that is the San Joaquin Bridge that broke and has since been removed due to the historic 2023 snowfall. Many people are planning to exit the trail on a side trail and then get back on trail further up, missing about 25 miles of the JMT. However, Evolution Lake that I mentioned earlier is in this stretch, and that would be skipped. That also includes Muir Pass and Muir Hut, along with Evolution Valley. I have a really hard time imagining skipping this incredible section altogether, but that is one of my backup plans if I can't get across the river. There are a few other options people have suggested as workarounds, but I am really just hoping the river is fordable by mid-August. That's something I'll have to play by ear and potentially go off first-hand reports on trail. There is word that they may begin building a new bridge this year, but I don't think we can count on it being complete. Alright, well that's it for this video. I'm incredibly excited to do the trail again this summer. It absolutely blew me away a couple years ago. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be posting a lot more videos like this, and of course documenting my hike. I also have some other hikes planned before the JMT, so I'll see you out there on the trail.